It's been nearly.
Validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt up on the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher constantly, making my own climb. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. Whoa. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield. Standing on higher ground, where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds. Raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. We are an hour late for this show today. We were supposed to start about an hour ago, but, you know, I was working on this document. I got about 11 pages in. I was drafting this really, really, really long document. Then I was like, oh, snap, I got to get the show started. So I apologize for the delay. But as I told you guys before, that the sun doesn't rise without us going live. So remember that we are live 7 nights a week. We're technically supposed to kick this bad boy off about an hour ago, which was about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. In the PM hours, 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock California time, 4 a.m. Green Minutes time, 4 a.m. Universal Standard Time. So we are live 7 nights a week at the exact same time, roughly within the hour. We started about the same time, but we are live every night of the week. About this time, every night of the week, we're still live if we haven't just started going live. So at this time of night, you will still see us here. We got some special stuff going on tomorrow. Today is our members only open to the public show where we're doing questions and comments from the fans. We're going to be addressing a lot of concerns, some long, some short, but we're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff, and you guys will be able to chime in. If you want to put your comments in, you can click the link, click the mic, approve the mic, approve the camera. I do that sometimes, and then it'll bring you into the thing in real time from TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter X. Special shout out to Twitter X. I see you guys on the forum. I also see you guys over there on Twitch. So I got 3 different platforms on here right now. So everybody's comments are usually seen on the screen as long as they are appropriate. As those of you that were here yesterday, seeing anybody that's putting up any individual inappropriate comments, hate speech or otherwise, is banned from the channel. But outside of that, it is an adult podcast, so we will have some adult level conversations like we had yesterday, but we keep them worded reasonably appropriate because we do have some kids that come onto the show and learn as well as contribute to the podcast, like Nico, who is 17. Special shout out to Nico and a few others, Max Opposer, TF Fireball, and others that do breeze through to learn something about business and finance. So since it's a public channel, open mic, open forum, open channel to all parties, we just ask that you keep your comments reasonably appropriate. Beyond that, oh, look at that. I got to get the audio files up and going today. So that's probably the only thing that I haven't done yet, because I was like, get the show started. This show must go on. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I got to pull up the dang video. And then we'll be able to take a listen to, oh, there it is. Goodness gracious. Hold on now. We've got, yeah, 11 minutes. What? All right. Well, we're going to do it either way. I think that's the one from today. Let's double check the download. It should be the most recent one, but we're going to be adding that one on. So hopefully you guys can hear it this time around. You know, we're utilizing StreamYard to stream, so it might not actually give us what we're looking for, but it might actually give us what we're looking for. I might be surprised. So let's go ahead and see if we can pull this up where we can enjoy it. Oh yeah, it is. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was longer. There it is, pulling it up. We're going to see if you guys
I don't know if he is in love with me. My boyfriend and I started talking day and night to each other since May last year and officially started dating on August. Since then, for 3 months, the relationship went beautiful until he was diagnosed with a very painful stomach ache problem caused by a stomach infection. He had to stop his drinking, going out with friends, and eating outside, which took a huge toll on his moods. He is otherwise a guy who is the heart of a party, and extremely social. But it's during end of November and December when he badly wanted a breakup with me. For everything he would say he don't feel the same way about me anymore, and this relationship is too much for him. He would say he don't love me and that I am very annoying. And even worse, he once said that he couldn't recover from his past relationship where he was dumped and that he is still stuck on with his ex. He was on another relationship after that, but he still got back with that ex when she called him, and they had an affair for some months. But the girl ended up dumping him again. The other girl also later cheated on him. I don't understand if this was due to his bad pain or it was true. But I still cannot forget what he said to me. It was him who wanted to date me, convince me for a relationship, but he said such things to me. It breaks my heart, and maybe I will never forget it ever in my life. I forgave him, although he never apologized to me for that, and also stood with him in the recovery process. Things got a lot better after he recovered. But I still feel like I am not the girl he wants.
'Cause you're not. You're not. His ex that keep dumping him is the one that he want. This is one of those situations where, ladies, I'm gonna be on your side and I'm gonna say leave that man alone. Truth be told, now I do understand that nobody ever ends up with the person that they originally wanted. So that's something that we have to recognize. Typically, outside of unforeseen circumstances, I'm going to have to call it that, where situations beyond your control and pregnancy occurs. Typically, outside of that, you decided to hook up with the person that you decided to hook up with. You decided to date the person that you decided to date. That's the person that you wanted at the time. And you ended up with children with that person. And that relationship didn't work out. That's the man you wanted, right? Now, you still got the children for that man. And the next guy that comes up is not the man that you want. It's the man that you tolerate, because that man will tolerate the children in your relationship with the man. So likewise, on the reverse, if a man wanted a specific woman and that relationship didn't work out, he's still going to want that woman, even though I object to that. And I strongly recommend that if you recognize that somebody doesn't want you, you just leave them alone, because the only thing they're going to do is continue to destroy you emotionally, psychologically, physically, in some situations, until they're done with you. And then when they're really done with you, when you have nothing left and everything is gone, that's when that person leaves and never comes back, because they have nothing left to take from you. This typically happens from men and women alike that are in that narcissistic, toxic mindset where, for whatever reason, they find it fitting to take shots at the next relationship, whatever bitterness they have from the last relationships or past traumas or whatever the case may be. And it is not the fault of the new person that is getting into this relationship, the way it's not your fault, lady, for being in a relationship with a guy that's already got a bad history with relationships that he hasn't recovered from. I have told everyone universally on this channel for the last year that when you recognize that the person that you went does not want you now, because you might not have been the person that you originally chose, but that does not change the fact that under the current circumstances, you are the one that they want to have with them now. If you recognize that they don't want you here now, that there is no reason for you to continue. This isn't like deciding whether or not you're going to pull the plug on life support. This is the determination of whether or not you are going to be respected and validated and appreciated in this relationship. Based on what you're telling me, this guy is not going to do that. And while he might stay with you, that does not mean that he feels the way that he does not feel the way he feels, because he definitely does. And that further ratifies the fact that when you said that he didn't apologize, but you forgave him, there was nothing for you to forgive, because he didn't do anything wrong. He told you how he really feels about you. He told you what he really feels about the situation, which means there's nothing for him to apologize for. Now, some women are going to be upset about that, but that's the truth. He instead of him cheating on you with somebody else, he has been telling you consistently throughout his illness that he does not want you. So now, regardless of how you feel about him, instead of you allowing this to linger and then he does cheat on you with somebody else, you should pack up and leave, because he has already given you your letter of resignation many moons ago and you have not quit the job. So it is your decision to stay here, but you understand that since he does not want you, he's not going to reciprocate your feelings. He's not going to reciprocate your emotions. He's not going to reciprocate your efforts. And eventually you're going to feel mistreated and you're going to feel used, but he's not using you because he already told you he doesn't want you. So pay attention to that. Special shout out. I see my boy. He dove in, and I'm up in here later than the medic, but he got here. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. We're gonna throw down this one here. Wait. We're gonna throw down this one here. Yeah, when we listen to this one every day, we're gonna do this one. Because we got to play Higher Ground and Evolution, Elevation Protocol every now and again, so that you guys can get used to them, because I love these songs. Yeah. Special shout out to Rev. First time tonight. He said, can opposite spiritual values work in a relationship? And if so, how? That's going to be a good question that we're going to address real quick. Just a second. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, opposite spiritual values can work in a relationship, because they're not necessarily opposite spiritual values. All spiritual values, while they might have conflictual practices, they're not, no one outside of Satanism, no one religious practice pushes against another religious practice saying that what they're teaching is wrong. Let me rephrase that, because every religious practice says that every other religious practice is doing it wrong. But each religious practice has its own way of showing you that you're supposed to value a higher power. Each religious practice enforces upon you the fact that you're supposed to respect yourself and you're supposed to respect the people around you. Each religious practice shows you in some way, shape, or form that you're supposed to value human life more than anything that is materialistic. You're not supposed to deceive. You're not supposed to abuse. You're not supposed to mistreat. These are all common commonalities across all religious practices. Corinthians 31 can be found in the Quran, not as Corinthians 31, but the words of Corinthians 31 on how to treat people is in the Quran. Like 2/3 of the book is how to respect people and respect yourselves and carry yourselves with modesty. So there isn't very many religious practices. The outside of like, so the jurist practices are like, respect yourself more with more work-life balance. Don't work after certain days. Respect your body. Eat healthier. Stuff to that effect. But it's not going to. No one religious practice is going to say that you cannot treat people good, or that you should not treat people. But no religious practice is going to say that. All religious practices have the same underlining morals and ethics and principles. So, can two different people with different spiritual values work in a relationship? Yes. And how does that work? Well, you have to have a commonality. We can go to your church one week. We can go to my synagogue the next week. We can go to your whatever your religious practice is the week after that. We can go to my religious practice the week after that, and we can take turns. In addition to that, when it comes down to what we're going to teach the kids, we're supposed to be able to negotiate that ahead of time. You cannot call yourself dating me and saying that I don't want my kids to learn your religious practice. We can teach the kids both and then let them choose which one they want to maintain. Because some kids end up pretending like they're atheists, even though most people grow up in a religious background of some sort. And you can tell that most people grow up in a religious background because whenever they start talking about extremities, they talk about Jesus Christ, God, yes, no, Lord, save us, God, forgive me. This only comes from people who believe that there is a higher power. It's not just something to say. Okay. So if you recognize that there's a higher power, whether you respect it or not, doesn't change the fact that you have some religious background. You might not want to claim certain religious backgrounds based on their corruption and behavior practices. It doesn't change the fact that you do have spiritual or religious beliefs. It's just undefined spiritual and religious beliefs based on your knowledge of religious background versus your recognition that not everybody talks about what should be talked about. And then we also have to talk about the corruption of missing scripture and the preachers that teach for personal gain, like Mr. Sapp, that's now looking at 12,000 kidnapping charges and all of this other stuff that happens. So with that being said, yes, you can, but it requires communication, negotiations, and cooperation. Let's go ahead and touch on the next comment here. Y'all keep y'all questions coming in as well. Oops, hold on. We're not doing that one. We're doing this one over here because it is working today.
I rematched with 4 girls after I unmatched because they didn't seem interested. Can someone help me understand their rationale or what I should do? They sent the likes first to me, same as the last time.
Okay, so on these dating apps, what happens is that when you cross over somebody's profile and you like them and they like you, y'all form a match. When one of y'all unmatches, that throws you back into the collective. When they scroll through the platform, the same way you scroll through this platform, you come back to this channel because I'm still here. When they scroll through the platform, they come back to your profile because your profile is on the platform and they match with you. A lot of people are just swiping right and swiping left for the sake of liking the photo. They have no interest in communicating with anybody. They have no interest in getting into a relationship. They just think that these people might be attractive and they could fantasize potentially having a relationship or an affair with these individuals, but they're not really in the mindset or the state of mind or the current situation and their personal life choices and goals to entertain a relationship. So while they might like your profile, y'all both might like each other's profile and y'all might match. That does not mean that they're going to talk to you. Likewise, there are individuals that might start a communication with you, but then that communication might die out, specifically because they got too much stuff going on in their personal life. They don't have time to deal with you because you're not in person. You're on a computer. You're not even on a computer. You're on an app on a cell phone, which is a sub app. It's not even on the primary forefront of most people's cell phones. A lot of people hide the dating platforms that they talk to you on. So you're not going to find it on the main screen. It's going to be a sub screen, which means they may not even have push notifications. So they may not even know that you're talking to them. So you got to understand that as well. In addition to that, you also have to consider that some people, just like the man that we were just talking about, who's interested in somebody else, if the person that they really wanted circles back on them, which I always disagree with. Do not let anybody circle back on you. If they circle back on you, push them away, because if it wasn't meant to be the first time, it's not going to be meant to be the second time. But if his ex continues to circle back on him, every time he gets into a reasonably good relationship, his ex is going to convince him to get back with his ex, which means that he's going to be in an off again, on again relationship with his ex. And every person that he dates after that is a rebound chick to get over his ex. And just as soon as he gets over his ex will come back and mess up his situation all over again, which keeps him in a miserable situation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell all of y'all, don't get back with your exes. Now, because we understand that people do get back with their exes, if their ex gravitates around, they were communicating with you, they're going to phase out because they're interested in somebody else more than they're interested in you. They're going to stop talking to you. Then when that person doesn't work out, they're going to come and reach out to you again and start picking up conversations to see if their foot's still in the door so that they could try to make a move on you now, because you were not the first choice. You might have been the 10th choice. You might have been a choice right after Chris Jericho in the top 20 favorite superstars. But the fact of the matter is that you wasn't the first choice. Now, if you don't want to be last choice or the next choice after they pushed you aside because you was in line, you had the number and they skipped your number and went to somebody else and then they went back to your number. If you're like, you know what, that's all right, I don't need this, then don't worry about it. But if you're going to remember them more than they're going to remember you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because more men reach out to women than women reach out to men. So a man's profile is going to have a limited number of engagements, where a woman's profile is going to have an abundance of engagements. As a result, she's not going to keep track of all of the communications that she receives. She's not going to recognize everybody. Since we don't pay attention to people's names, we mostly look at their photos. We're not going to know that we've talked to this person before, but somebody that you've rejected, they're going to know that you rejected them before. So the guy who probably only sees like 50 at best to 100 profiles in a year, a woman might see 50 to 100,000 profiles in that same year. She's not going to remember every face that she's seen. And if y'all unmatched each other for some reason, you got thrown back into the collective, and then you came back around and she's still attracted to your photo. But she's attracted to your photo, bro. She's not attracted to a relationship with you, just your photo. So let that shit go. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Wife who's 39 gaslighting me at 41 and I don't know what to do. My wife of 6.5 years goes out for lunch with a guy friend, ex-coworker who's 40, he pays. I've never met him, nor has she told me about him, until I went through her iPad and saw a text message chain she deleted from her phone but forgot to delete from the iPad after he wished her a happy birthday last month. He makes advances to her, seen clear as day in text messages. He's offered to lend her money, calls her hun, and asks her to confide in him, which apparently she has clear as day in text. She doesn't think what she did is wrong. I personally do. I've told her all I care about is honesty in life due to my upbringing. She knows this. She said she would be better. We were separated for a little over a month earlier this year. After the last time I had a feeling about something that was right. Lying, withholding information, being deceitful, are things that piss me off. The ugliest truth is better than the prettiest lie is how I've lived my life. When it comes to lying, she doesn't think withholding information and being deceitful are the same as lying, has been a constant in my marriage from my wife. I'm bipolar, and for the life of me I can't seem to understand how a person feels dishonesty, but it's something I've had my entire life. My wife knows this and has witnessed it with her own eyes, yet she continues to get mad at my reaction to finding out opposed the fact the things happened. Is this worth continuing?
Hell no, that's not working. He said, run, bro, run. He said, run, bro, run. All right, look, make sure y'all like and subscribe as y'all pop into here. I don't care. Everybody that you notice, like last week and the week before last, you got more and more people diagnosed with being bipolar, because sometimes you're okay with the situation, and sometimes it should just get on your damn nerves and you just blow your stack. You could be bipolar, or you could just be normal and just easily pissed off. Doesn't change. No female, no male, no person. Check this out, y'all. No person should be having romantic conversations while they're in a relationship with somebody that they're not in a relationship with. Nobody should be tolerating somebody flirting with them, offering them money, offering them favors, or offering, because, I'm going to tell you something right now, ladies. If a woman told your man to confide in her, where instead of him confiding in you, he would be confiding in her, and she is not a paid therapist or psychiatrist. This woman is just gathering information so that she can find the opportunity to take your man from you. Now, flip the script, fellas. Anytime a man tells your woman to confide in him, he's doing the exact same thing. And when she voluntarily confides in him, the relationship is dead, because you are not supposed to say nothing negative about your relationship. You are not supposed to say nothing negative about your partner to society. If your partner ain't doing right and you're not talking to your pastor, you're not talking to your therapist, your psychiatrist, or your lawyer, those are the 3 or 4 people you're supposed to be talking to. Paid therapist, paid psychiatrist, the pastor, and your lawyer. If you ain't talking to them, where confidentiality is mandatory and no one else will talk about this will go to the grave of the person that you told. Outside of them 4, if you talk to anybody else, your relationship is dead, because you can't hold water. You know how they call that airing your dirty laundry out to the street? You ain't supposed to do that. The modesty continues with your ability to maintain appropriateness, because look, don't think that, you talking bad about your husband or your boyfriend because he ain't shit. Sweetheart, you chose him just like he chose you. So if he ain't shit, what does that make you? Because you stay in there. Now, there's misunderstandings that requires communication. If you can't communicate verbally, write letters, send emails. I wouldn't say text, because everybody's quick to respond in a text message. If you can't communicate directly, sit at the computer and draft up a 5 or 10 page email putting all of your issues out. Email it to them. Let them read it, and then they can call you and talk to you about what your problem is. Okay? But confiding into some other dude, that's a dead issue. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, when they broke up, I can put it hands down that cheating happened. I could put it hands down that cheating happened, because the emotional connection is already there. The protecting and providing, pseudo protecting and providing, is happening from the second guy, because the second guy is throwing up money and throwing up this and throwing up that, and she's looking at it and liking it, and she's not liking the dissatisfaction in her relationship, and ultimately she gonna run. Now, I agree with the fella, bro. Leave, because if the shoe was on the other foot, ladies, if a female was offering to do things with your man, take your man places, hold your man up at his house at her house for a few days until y'all work out y'all issues, I can guarantee you would think that he's smashing his chick. She could just be keeping him from paying for a hotel. She could be paying for his hotel. You would swear to God that she at the hotel with him. So don't say that I'm wrong when I'm telling y'all what I'm telling y'all. If y'all don't have enough confidence in your relationship to work your relationship out, in that shit. But if you are literally dedicated to your relationship, your decision to end it is not based on your partner's dedication to the relationship. It is based on your dedication to the relationship. If you're not dedicated, leave. If your partner tells you that he or she is not dedicated, that's when you leave. But if they show effort and you are misunderstanding a scenario, you need to try to work that situation out. But again, if you're in a situation where she's choosing not to change, because once he said, I'm not okay with this, that's when she should have stopped talking to him altogether. She should have blocked his number and everything. But she shouldn't have been talking to him from begin with. But as soon as the boyfriend or husband says, hey, this ain't cool, that's when she should have stopped. Because if the roles were reversed and a woman would have said, hey, I would prefer that you don't talk to her, that's when the man is supposed to stop talking to that woman. Okay. Out of respect for his girl, he's supposed to stop talking to that woman. So out of respect for your man, you're supposed to stop talking to that other man. That's neutral. This is uniformity. So yeah, kick rocks is what I would say. Like Rev said, run, bro, run. You gotta get out. Let's go ahead and touch base on the next one here.
Told her no. So I've messaged this girl for a couple of weeks on Hinge. In the beginning, she seemed quite interested, quick and good answers. With time, she lost interest. Until today. Today, she messaged me instantly, the whole day, and we talked about meeting up later in the evening. Then she went dark for a few hours, until now, basically. Can me and my friend sleep over? I couldn't stop laughing at this question. She was basically trying to use me for a sleeping place for her and her friend. A couple of years ago, as desperate as I was, I probably would have obliged. I firmly told her no. Honestly, I'm quite proud of myself, because this is the hottest girl I've ever seen. She says, we won't have anywhere to sleep. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, so there are some situations where women are in a bad spot, where they got to get away from an abusive boyfriend, but it is not your place to put her into your place. You bring her to a shelter or something to that effect. Y'all want to see more women's shelters, donate to a nonprofit that builds women's shelters so that there's more women's shelters out there. It is not, y'all don't want to respect men enough in common society to say that a quote unquote good man that would put you up in his house for free is worth you respecting in public until such time as you need to be put up into his house. At the end of the day, the same way you believe that you should not have to respect men just for being men, just for instinctively protecting and providing to women. What don't you know, Rev? Just for the instinctual ability to protect and provide to women, that women should show men more respect universally. And I'm not talking about the dirtbags that are like whistling under your skirt or something. I'm talking about the guys that show you that respect. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. The ones that you know, step aside and let you pass, open the door for you, carry heavy shit for you without charging you nothing. The ones that cater to your needs without you even having to know who they are. You know, you got to show these guys respect. But when it comes down to this situation, I mean, she texting you, she sending you messages and stuff. I think I know where you're getting at, Rev. I believe that a lot of men would say yeah to that question, but she's asking if her and her friend could stay over. I'm going to say no to this in my current day and age, no matter how hot she is. Exactly. Look, she bringing her friend too. Every man, most men, more often than not, are going to think two hot chicks coming to stay tonight, I should get to smash at least one of them. Now, the ridiculousness out of this train of thought is the fact that if she is desperate enough, she might sleep with you. But if she has that little respect for you, she will live in your house and have you live on your porch. Her and her friend will take over your house, and she would disrespect you in your house in front of her friend. Now, the problem that you have with this situation, you're in this house by yourself. She's got a witness. Anything that she says that's corroborated by her friend is viable testimony in a court of law. And now you're in a situation where you could be accused of doing stuff that you're not doing that could lead you to 15 to 20. You'll be sitting right next to Mystical, Puff Daddy, R. Kelly. You feel me? You'll be getting out after Bill Cosby got out. You would just be in there, bro. You're like, yeah, if you're weak. No. It's not if you're weak. It's not if you're weak. If you just don't have surveillance all over your damn house so that you could prove to the police officers what they said was a lie. It ain't got nothing to do with if you're weak. Because when you said she bringing her friend too, either you don't know about her friend staying the night because you don't know her friend, or you saying that she bringing her friend too because there might be two of them. Now I understand that, Rev Chap, that you coming from a holy place, so I'm gonna assume that you thinking that's too many people coming to stay the night. But for the mentality of the dirty old man, that's not you. The other person, they thinking, oh, there's two chicks. I'm gonna hit at least one of these. And that's the reason why, when that mentality cross your mind, the answer is no. Not because she's he said, I agree, bro. I'm just tripping. Hey, I don't take no offense. But from the man's point of view, I just covered the story not too long ago how Louisiana is cutting men's balls off because of sexual assault charges. All it takes is for a woman to call the police and say that she didn't consent, and he's going to jail. Once he's convicted of it, he's lost his nutsack. Why would you tell a woman that you don't know? You don't know her name. You don't know her last name. All you know is what she put on her profile. Why would you trust her to bring a second person to your house? You don't know if she's legal. You don't know if her friend is legal. You don't even know her friend. All you know is that she's bringing a second person. She could be 18. Her friend could be 16. You could be in jail. So no, because I don't know y'all. It's not like we've been in a relationship for a while. Some shit happened with you. I would have offered you the keys to my place anyway. And you're asking me if you could stay the night. You're not asking me to stay the night because we hit it off and you want to get to know me more. You're out of town. You want to come and stay with me so that you can spend more time with me, kind of situation. You're not asking me to spend a night because we've spent all week together and now you want to come and stay the night. You haven't talked to me in a while. You started reaching out to me today to see if I would talk to you. Then once you realized that I would acknowledge your existence, then you asked me for a major favor that best friends 5 years in are reluctant to ask their best friends. I feel like that is an abusive question to ask somebody you don't know. And my boy is here. Let's go ahead and keep going. We started late, but we running hard today. Bayside says, splash. What's up, fellas? This is going to catch on. These songs are going to become household songs within 2 years, I think. Waiting on Usman to jump in. Usman is satellite. All right, let's go ahead and touch base on the next one. You get to listen to some of these crazy ones. They got the server working right now, so we all can hear it at the same time.
42-year-old man here. Never married. No kids. I live alone. Own my condo. Steady job. I'm in decent shape. Certain types of women find me attractive. I'm also 6 feet 2 inches. My concern is that my place in life would raise red flags, as far as the fact that I'm 42 and still single and living alone. Is this a turn off for women in terms of possible long term? Ladies, please chime in here. Works really help my outlook on things.
Most women want your height. You own your own condo. You got a job, I'm assuming. Making some money. Being 42, no, that's not a turn off. The older you are, men age like fine wine, women age like spoiled milk. It is what it is. Truth of the matter is that you own your own home and you live alone. You are more of a catch than men that rent their home or live with family members. Somebody who rents their home and lives with family members. You're the individual that's a roommate to somebody else's house. They're less appealing because they're less stable. They're less together financially. But if you own your own place and you got your own shit together, I mean, it's not that you're not appealing to women. Now, if you've got chaos in your background, like back child support and females that keep showing up on your doorstep at 11 o'clock in the morning talking about some, give me my stuff, and then I can see you being like a problematic person. You got people keying your car and setting your car on fire and spray painting it and shit, and you got to get restraining orders on folks. Then I can see you saying, you got too much stuff going on in your life. But you ain't got nothing going on in your life. You're otherwise considered boring. Yeah, you're a perfect catch. Now, whether or not women want boring, that depends on the age of the woman. Basically, I said, wow, sounds a lot like myself. That just means you were responsible where condos and not really, not ready to lock down. Well, he bought a condominium, which is like owning an apartment, but he owns it though. So outside of taxes and HOAs foreclosing on his house, he owns his place, you know. And I don't think that he was not ready to settle down. I think it was the fact that he couldn't find anybody to settle down with, and he believes that because nobody's really giving him a shot at 6'2", you know, that nobody really wants to talk to him. And I'm like, you just gotta wait your turn. Bayside says insecure women will say what's wrong with you for not having kids at that age or not being married. That is true, but you're also going to have women that complain if you're divorced and you've got child support and timeshare arrangements with the baby mama. So, I mean, you're either devalued by some women because you don't have any financial responsibilities to another woman, or you're devalued to some women because you are financially tied to another woman. Because how much more conflictual would that be if you, as a new girlfriend, have to make your way into this guy's life when this weekend he's supposed to be babysitting his kid? You're not ready to be a mother. He's got a 8-year-old boy, by that matter. Let's put that way. Not even it's a girl. You can, you know, play house with her and stuff. An 8-year-old boy that looks at you like you're not his mama. Okay. Now, because these kids grow up, but not all of them grow up respectfully. So we have to look at the fact that while women believe that a man 42 years old should have at least 1 or 2 kids under his belt and be married, the fact is that the men who have kids in their 30s and in their 20s end up in situations where those relationships don't work out, and then the kids are still here and those parents still have to get their child. Now, what are women going to do about that? Because truthfully, if a woman gets with the right man, instead of making all the wrong decisions, if the woman gets with the right man and the right man stays with her, Rev said, I don't think this dude applying himself enough. Let's touch on that real quick. Yeah, because the 1%, 99% of women want a man that's 6'5" that own his own shit. Now, really, the only thing you're missing right now is $100,000 a year job. So if you own your own place, you 6 foot something or other, and you got a decent income above $50,000, you should at least get 50% of the women in the United States. And with 165 million women in the United States right now, technically, you should be the pick of the litter of at least 78,000 women. So I don't know why you single, outside of the fact that the woman that you want don't want you. Because I'm 5'6". It's probably like 10% of women that want 5'6", man. Don't matter how much money I got. 5'6", I can own my own shit. 5'6", I can have 5 businesses across 5 states. But because I'm 5'6", if I'm not willing to give this female $200,000 a year of play money, they might not even talk to me because of my height. Because a lot of women that are 4'11" are putting on 6-inch stilettos with a 3-inch lift on them so that they could be 5 inches taller than me, talking about something they want a man that they can look up to. Take them fucking heels off. You be looking up to me. But am I going to complain about a female not talking to me because I'm 5'6"? No, I'm not. You ain't got to talk to me. I can save money if you don't talk to me. I encourage you not to talk to me till you're ready to get your financial shit straight. I encourage you not to talk to me because that's all I'm going to do is talk about finances. We're going to talk about investing. We're going to talk about saving. We're going to talk about making money, make money for us. When we eat, we're going to eat good, but we're going to eat good and eat responsibly. We're not going to be wasting money all over the place. You're going to know what a kitchen looks like. Not because you're going to be in there by yourself cooking, but because we're going to take turns cooking. We're going to take turns making sure that we both fed. We're going to take turns making sure that the kids get what they need. We're going to take turns teaching the kids stuff. And we're going to work together as to how we're going to teach them, because you're not going to argue with me. You're not going to talk back to me neither. It's mutual respect. I'm going to respect you. If I disagree with what you told the child, I'm not going to tell you nothing in front of the child. I'm going to take you away from the child when this conversation is over. And while the child outside playing with the neighbor's kids, me and you going to talk about what the hell you just told my child. And make sure that you correct that so that your authority over the child is not diminished because I said something, but you will respect what I got to say about my kid. Now, respecting what you want from the child, I'm going to be doing that as well. It's going to be mutual. I'm not going to just dictate, oh, you can't tell me what to do with my kid, but you're not going to say anything to my kid. No. We both created this kid. We're going to share this kid, but we're going to do it responsibly. Now, that's something that not a lot of people know, men or women alike, And it takes being older to know that you got to put your foot down as an adult to the other adult before both of y'all have a unified front in front of the child. Divide and conquer only happens when a child sees a flaw in the communication between mom and dad. If mom says no and the child come over to dad, dad should beat that ass, because didn't mama tell you no? Mama could have told you, if I'm going to go talk to her, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm not going to tell, I'm going to go talk to your mama because I don't agree with what she said. No. Mama told you to go take a time out. If I go over there and I go talk to mama about giving you a timeout, I need to be standing over there in timeout with you because mama said no. That's respecting mama's authority. Now, daddy say no. You run over there by mama and go tell mama, oh, daddy told me I can't have this, that, and third. Well, you better go over there and go listen to what he said before he put the belt to both of us. Which is respecting the father's authority. I'm not going to tell you no. If he told you yes, I'm not going to tell you no. And if I tell you no, he's not going to tell you yes. Y'all share responsibility. It's uniformed enforcement. But yeah, when it come down to like finding the right man, bro, finding the right partner, bro, if you at 6 foot something or other, I ain't found a woman that's saying, he too tall. Shit. Bumping your head on the car on your way in, driving a goddamn Fiat. You taller than the damn car is long. Riding in the Miata with the top down because you can't put the top up because your head will go through the roof like Dino from the Flintstones. And you sitting over here talking about something you can't find a female. I don't know what's wrong with you, bro. You just not going outside. Because I know I can go outside right now and have 3 women look at me like, he got some nice looking dogs. Let's go ahead and touch on the next one now. Woo.
Long-term girlfriend says she needs a break.
Bobby.
I've been dating my girlfriend. I'm 27 and she is 25. We've been dating for close to 5 years now. I would say that most of the relationship was beyond perfect. We began as close friends before, and that slowly turned into our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We both see each other as best friends and briefly lived together for about 2 years before having to go back to our parents' houses due to university reasons. My girlfriend has stated many times that she could never ask for a better friend and partner as well, and she has never felt more comfortable with anyone ever. Fast forward to about 2 months ago, my girlfriend was just about to finish school and is very scared of starting real life, as well as going through a tough time at home, dying relative. During this time our relationship began to feel a bit strained. One week she would become distant and say she's overwhelmed and confused, scared she might have chosen the wrong career path or not traveling enough, etc. And then the next week she tells me she loves me and looks forward to traveling over the summer or moving in Togdher. We had booked a long vacation over the summer and signed a lease to move into our own place in a few months. Fast forward again, she had a huge loss in her family and I was very supportive to her. She said so as well and how much she appreciates and loves me for it. And then a few days later said she needs a break. During our talk she stated this isn't a breakup and she doesn't want to cancel any of the plans, vacations or apartment, etc. because most of them are a few months ahead and she just needs time to figure herself out.
Okay.
I agreed to respect her request and not to speak for a couple of weeks or even the entire month, but I'm very down and don't know what to do. I also need to mention, when we started dating I was very supportive towards her and she wasn't as mature as she is today, meaning I did take care of her in many aspects, whereas today she is very much more mature and not reliant as much. I feel as if maybe I do at times overly try and help and talk things through instead of just letting her process things on her own and maybe smother her in that sense. I really don't want to lose her, and with all the issues lately, still do see her as the person I want to spend my life with. Beyond a partner, she has been my best friend during this relationship and also before it, and we do have a connection that is beyond special. Any advice?
Yeah. Make sure y'all hit those reaction buttons after you hit that like and subscribe button while y'all hanging out tonight. So let's kick this off real quick. He said that's called the yo-yo effect. Look now. I told you Rev got some wise words, y'all. Rev know what he be talking about now. She doing that push and pull bullshit. Look, bro, I was just about to say a minute ago when she started talking about we need a break. She's sleeping with somebody. When she said I'm confused, want to make sure that I'm making the right choice. That's because she's choosing between you and another man, and she needs time away from you so that she can go and tap that and decide if the sex is good enough for her to leave you and go with him, because there's an emotional attachment with you and an emotional attachment with him. That's what I was about to say. Then when you tell me that she asked for the break during the morning of the death in the family, she might need a couple days to sit there and think about life, death, responsibilities, being cut out of the will, shit like that. Sick people in the family, mourning mom, shit like that. Especially since y'all living in the same house. So there's a lot of things that could be going on there, but you concerned about whether or not you losing her, like Rev said, yo-yo effect, bro. All you doing is worrying yourself for nothing. She said that she ain't gonna cancel the house, so she's gonna live with you. She's not gonna cancel the trips because you paid for them. She's not gonna run from the fact that you're gonna take care of her. But she's going to go explore some other options for the next 30 days while she's, quote unquote, not in a relationship with you. Now, she's saying that she's not breaking up with you. So she's supposed to behave herself. And if she does, then that's fantastic. She's just going to get her stuff together, and then she's going to come back and she's going to be clear. But whenever she bring that ass back, you need to make sure that you have a clear understanding of her expectations for you and your expectations for her. Because I can live with my best friend for the rest of my life, but that is not a relationship. Okay? If y'all want to maintain y'all friendship and not be in a relationship, don't live together. And if y'all are going to exercise a forever style relationship, stop pretending like, oh, this is my best friend, because your wife is supposed to be your damn best friend. If she's wife material, she's supposed to be acting like she's getting married to you at some point in y'all future. So this old friends, YOLO self-esteem as a man, insecure about your position with her, because y'all fighting over something that she's not satisfied with, but you don't know what the hell it is. You are about to TKO yourself before she can come and commit. Don't do that. Don't do that. You want to hang around and wait till she come back? You still staying with your mom and them. Y'all not moving in for a couple months. You get your shit together during this time that she's trying to get her shit together, so that when y'all get together, that y'all shit together. That's what y'all need to be doing. Because look, y'all children until y'all 26, these generations. Back when I was young, you was grown at 9 and 10. You had jobs. You had driver's license before you was 15. You was driving your own car that you bought with your own money by the time you was 16. You was paying rent, light, gas, and water in more than one house by the time you was 17. You was running companies before you was 18 when I was young. These days, you still got your mama's allowance at 25. You still on your daddy life insurance and health insurance policies at 27. You still being claimed on people taxes as a dependent at 28. What the hell? So yeah, you 25, she 26, or you 26, she 24, whatever. Y'all need to get y'all shit together and start acting like adults, because y'all are dependent on y'all family. I don't know what the hell happened with y'all talking about some differences in universities, and y'all stopped living together and started living in separate houses. That y'all went backwards in a relationship. Y'all was supposed to try to figure that shit out. Whichever direction y'all went, y'all was supposed to go the same direction at the same time. I got one of my students right now. He work in Taiwan. His wife's going to college in the United States. He flies back and forward from Taiwan to the United States so that he can spend time with her when he's not at work, and he can still work a full-time job. Now, why this grown-ass man can get it done, but you can't? I don't want to hear that. And my man is in the house. Mr. Satellite, always coming in when the mic drop. This is like the moment of the song when he comes in. That nice guitar solo. I think he times it. He's like, nope, I'm gonna announce myself right after this. So let's go ahead and tap into the next one.
I'm a 28-year-old female, and the only one initiating dates with him. He is 26 years old. Should I move on? 2 weeks ago, I matched with a guy on Boo, and we have been on 3 dates so far. It seems to me like we click really well and we text a lot. The only problem is that so far I've been the only one initiating dates. I suggested the first, the second one, and the third one. Every time he agreed to meet up, but it's always me initiating.
Damn right.
We are also moving quite slow. At the end of the first date, he kissed me on the cheek. At the end of the second date, he gave me a short peck on the lips.
Good job.
For the third date, I invited him to my place. Honestly, I expected him to stay for the night, but he left at 10:30 p.m. and we didn't even make out. He just gave me a peck on the lips again.
High five.
I'm glad he respects me and doesn't push my boundaries, but I'm worried he might just not be very interested in me.
Stupid.
Especially since he doesn't initiate dates.
Not
or maybe he is just a passive guy by nature.
No.
My last relationship ended partially because the guy never proposed. We dated for 4.5 years.
Your fault.
So I don't want to enter another relationship where I'm the only person pushing things forward. Also, neither of us has met with anyone else from the app. So it's not like he is dating multiple women.
Right. So what you're telling me is that your ass is impatient and you're too horny that you can't wait. So most women would want a man not to pressure her for sex, but you are pressuring him to come and spend the night so that y'all can smash. You moving too fast. He's taking it slow. He's showing you respect. He's getting to know you. He's setting the foundation for a long-term longevity. You're like, oh, 4.5 years. We ain't married yet. Why? You blaming the other guy because he didn't marry you. Just then, Bayside, we talked about this yesterday, Bayside. They be forcing stuff on the next man that the last man didn't do. You forcing commitment on the next man because the last man didn't want you. You wasn't wife material with the last man. That's why he didn't marry you. You got to understand that if a man is going to propose to you, okay, that means that he should be believing that you are worth being his wife. A man should not be proposing to you because he's forced to. The same way a woman is not supposed to have sex with a man because she's forced to. All right? You're going to say that's not the same. In a way, being forced to give up your purity against your better judgment is equivalent to a man being forced to give up his entire estate or half of his entire estate against his better judgment. Because your purity is what makes you valuable. In case you didn't know, your purity is what makes you valuable, and his estate is what makes him valuable. So forcing a man into marriage is not a smart move. If he didn't marry you after 4.5 years, you should have been asking yourself, what are you doing wrong as the girlfriend that he doesn't feel like you qualify to be his wife? Some men are going to say, well, they're not ready for it yet because they're not financially stable. Well, ma'am, I can tell you right now, if the man isn't ready to marry you because of high expectations of Western women for their marriage, $50,000 to $100,000 for the wedding, for the family and friends and stuff, which is a waste of money. He don't have that kind of money. He ain't marrying you right now. Right? The other thing is that if he's saying that he's not ready to marry because of the lack of financial stability in a relationship, you got to ask yourself, what are you doing to contribute to the positive improvement of the financial stability of the relationship so that he can feel comfortable in marrying you? If you're not putting in extra effort to be married, you're not going to get married. Now, this guy doesn't want to move too fast. A lot of men move fast. The quicker we get into a physical relationship, the quicker we connect with this person on a level that wants us to not leave, even if it's not a healthy relationship. So the longer it takes for us to initiate physical connection with this person, the easier it is for us to remove ourselves from the situation once we start recognizing those red flags. But once we start sleeping with a person and we have the mentality of longevity, we're going to stay sleeping with this person. And that mentality of longevity is going to force us to allow ourselves to indulge in a toxic relationship in hopes that we will fix the toxicity of the other person so that we are no longer involved in a toxic relationship. That doesn't work. If the other person is not willing to change or communicate with you their discontent that's requiring you to communicate your discontent, then you're going to be in a one-sided relationship. You have to make sure that the other person is on the same page as you. You can allow them time to catch up to you. Every relationship is always going to have one person that cares more than the other. There's no getting past that. However, you're still supposed to value and validate the other person. Even if they care about you more than what you care about them, you still care enough that you're still here. And you need to be able to show them that they're important to you. So, yeah, stop being a little thought and wait for the man to make another move. You want to continue to initiate. That shows the man that you value him. Continue to do that. All women should do that. All women should pay for the first 3 dates. All women should initiate. All women should show how valuable they are to a man before a man opens his wallet and invests his time and effort into committing to that woman. And ladies, make sure y'all like and subscribe. As I tell you this, y'all need to keep y'all legs closed until he commit. Nah, that's from the perspective of a man. Maintain your purity. And commitment is not, oh, we're in a relationship. Commitment is the marriage. And if it's not a marriage, a fucking LLC or something, a joint family trust or something, some type of commitment, lifetime commitment, where you guys are going to make this work for an extended period of time. Then after he shows you that type of commitment, that's when you guys start bumping uglies, which also means that y'all should not be sleeping in the same house or the same room together, because I mean, temptation is always there. If y'all sleep in the same room, y'all might want to cuddle up, and then brushing up against one another, stuff happens. Y'all sleep in the same house, thoughts is flying, and y'all might end up in the same room, which might end up in the same bed, which might end up with stuff happening. That's why you see on them K-pop movies where the one person is in one room, the other person's in the other room with the door closed, one person sleeping in the house, the other person sleeping outside the house because the house is too small. They don't even, one is in a chair and the other one's in the bed, because they don't want nothing to happen. Because as soon as that physical connection happens, rational thinking goes right out the window. So that is something that you need to think about. Let's touch base with the next one.
Vital, his wife. I recently met a man in the wild and we hit it off. Seemed great and...
Hold on, y'all. Before we keep going, this bitch just said that she met a man in the wild. So this is the first woman that we have heard that would choose the man over the bear. I was not expecting that, but she just said that she met him in the wild. Bless it. Let's see what else she got to say.
Genuine, and showed a lot of interest in getting to know me. We exchanged contact information. We met up one night for a drink and he expressed his romantic interest in me and we just had a fun conversation. We ended up kissing when we said goodbye for the night, and that was the last I saw him. He was saved as a contact on my phone, and today he popped up on my social media as someone I may know. That was when I discovered he has a whole wife and 2 kids under 5. I'm very upset because I did not sign up to play a part in someone else's lies. I need advice here. I'm obviously never going to see this man again, but I'm conflicted on my moral obligation when it comes to his wife. I don't want to make a family fall apart, but I also think his wife deserves honesty. I also don't know if they're in an open marriage or if they're perhaps separated. It's a lot of unknowns. If you were the wife, would you want to know? Do I tell him I know about his wife and kids? Do I just block him and move on? Please help. I have so much anxiety over this and just want to be able to move on.
See, y'all be looking for confirmation to do dirty shit to people. That's what y'all be doing. That's some bullshit. Do you see? Okay, so when she said that she ain't gonna talk to the man no more, does it really matter what happens after that? Like, once you said that you was done, that you out of it, that you done forfeited your position, it don't matter if his wife know or not. Now, you're going to say that, well, if you was in the position of the wife, you would want the other person to come and tell you, what if me as the man, my woman was doing this and some dude came by and told me? I'm going to tell you right now, most men are in denial. If a man come and tell him that his wife is a hoe, that dude ain't going to believe him. In fact, that dude might beat the other guy up for telling him that out of respect for defending his wife's honor. Then when the man catch the woman being a hoe, he's going to regret the fact that he beat up the other dude for telling him that his wife's a hoe. But the fact is, should that man have told him that his wife was a hoe? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, we done had some situations with social media. This is one of the reasons why I don't be on social media outside of this podcast. I mean, I do, but I don't be on social media on something that's going to link me to other people that know me. Don't nobody know that I'm on social media when I'm on social media. And I do that on purpose because I don't want nobody connecting me with no bullshit. But, and this isn't a deceitful thing, I just don't want negativity in my life. But this is the thing. The man's got a profile. If the profile has a wife and kids on it, it does not necessarily mean that the wife and kids is currently active. That could be an old profile. That profile could have been when he had a wife and kids and now he's divorced. Should you ask him about the wife and kids? If you were going to stay with this dude without I know about your wife. Instead, a more appropriate way to go about doing it might be to befriend him on the social media platform that has the wife on it. Like, oh, hey, Facebook or whatever sent me this friend request thing. And I was just like, cool. Then y'all talking on the platform. You can passively compliment the photo of the wife if it's a recent photo. But bitch, if you just scroll through his history, he gonna block you because you went digging into his past to find out what his present is like. And that's not what any person should do, man or woman alike. If you don't trust him, don't date him. Okay, but don't dig into his past to find out if he's a good man today. Now you're trying to say that he's a dirtbag because he's got a wife and 2 kids. Well, he has a female in his life that has 2 kids. She might not be his wife. She could be his ex-wife. She could be his ex-girlfriend. She could be his baby mama. But let's say for the sake of argument that is his wife, current wife, actively married. What kind of person are you to consider continuing to communicate with him if you know that he's currently married? Now, I asked that question because when you asked me, should I tell him I know about your wife? That is you asking me if you should test his ability to tell you the truth. Women do this all the time. Men don't do this. Men could care. Men will find out about something and just take action. Women have this habit of getting ratified information, getting quantified information. There is absolutely nothing that you can say when you put the photos, the videos, the screenshots on the table. It's like being interrogated on Law and Order. When they put the evidence on the table, you ain't got nothing to do but confess. And that's what women are thinking in their mind, is that they're going to interrogate you in this random scenario. They're going to catch you off guard while you're playing your game or while you're in front of your friends or while you're in front of your family, putting up this persona that you're such a good guy. And then they're going to slam you with this evidence like a draw 4 Uno card or a draw 2 or a reverse skip. They're going to just hit you with the hammer. They're going to hit you with 2 draw 2s, 2 draw 4s, and a wild card and just Uno out and just mic drop on you and walk out the door. They want to be able to hit you with that chaos where you can't contest it and be like, I showed him. Well, look, if your ass had that petty mentality, you need to leave and not say shit. Because you would, with knowledge, be going to a person that is not faithful and challenging their loyalty to you so that you can feel better about yourself when you move on. Once you decide to move on, you need to just drop the ball and just leave. Just give it up and just go. Basically, I said, look, when you're cheating on your wife or girlfriend, you are not readily available. Women love men that are mysterious and have their own agenda and not thirsty. But Bayside, you got to understand that the only men that have their own agenda and are not thirsty are the men that are focusing on their money because they've been broken too many times by women, or a man that's already in a relationship with a woman where they're not interested in other women. A man that has not been broken too many times by a woman who does not give a shit about his money is nothing but thirsty. These young bucks, 18 to 25, that's trying to smash as many girls as they can. They ain't got no financial responsibility. They ain't been broken yet. They're not duty bound to no female. They are thirsty. If you offer sex to them, they're not going to tell you no. If they need a ride and they willing to give you head during a ride, they would give you a ride cross country on their gas money because they thirsty. So in order for a woman to find a man that is dedicated to his shit, because he's tired of the average female's shit, that man is not thirsty no more because he's tired of the bullshit. He fed up with that. He didn't have enough of that. You typically going to find that man between 30 and 45 years old because they tired of being mistreated by society. But that does not mean that that man is not able to get into a better relationship with another female. It just means that the desperation to sleep with the female is not there anymore. Men who have had too many women in their lifetime, few hundred, few thousand partners, they're not interested in sex like that anymore. They're no longer thirsty. They're more important things in life than sex that had enough. But when you haven't had your fill, always thirsty. But I agree. There are a lot of women that want something that they can't have. That's where unrealistic expectations come from. It has been readily known that men are deemed more attractive to single women when that man is already taken, because he is the forbidden fruit. And he said, LOL, yes, sir. Good point. Females want what they can't have. And because that is considered the forbidden fruit, females will gravitate more towards a man with a wedding ring on than a man without one. This is another reason why the women in relationships put their boyfriends through the boyfriend training camp to like, y'all see this trend on social media where the girls is like, oh, quick, pretend like I'm another woman. No, we don't play them games. If you don't trust me to act right with another female, then you just not gonna trust me. But as long as you staying with me, you're gonna trust that I'm gonna do what I know is best. Because if you don't trust to do what I know is best, and you need to get about my house, because I'm only gonna make the decisions that I would have made regardless of whether or not you trust me. So you need to hope that you pick the man that's going to make the decisions that you agree with, because I'm going to make them decisions and then I'm going to come back and tell you about them. So if I can't come and tell you what I've been doing, then that means that I'm doing something that I ain't got no business doing. And if I'm telling you something that I've been doing and you don't like what I did, then it is your responsibility to decide to stay or go. Like the first woman on the show where she was talking about how he said he ain't want her. He ain't nothing to apologize for that. He said he ain't want you. So you decide whether you stay or not. Special shout out to Usman. It's been a while. Usman is back with the saying of the day. Y'all are hopping in during the mic drop and loving it. Make sure y'all like and subscribe as y'all come into the show. Hit those reaction buttons while y'all are here.
This is the elevation protocol, rising above the chaos, taking control. My values non-negotiable, my worth is my law. Surrounding myself with excellence, that's what I saw. I'm not building walls, I'm building bridges to greatness. Demanding excellence, no time for complacence. Act right or act out, the choice is always clear. My presence is my power, my standards draw the line here.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe. He said, hello, Usman. Oos. Xander, which shoot should I wear today? Dark side of Xander. It's a dating topic, so wear your pimp blazer. That was an accident, but it does make a lot of sense. Because I was wearing some dark colors throughout the week when we was talking about business and finance and money, and then when I started talking about this dating topic, I came out with a bright ass orange satin suit with the blue or orange and purplish. You're lucky I didn't have a purple vest up underneath it to match the tie, because I actually could have put a purple blazer up underneath this orange. I'm gonna have to do it the next time I put this together. But You made a good point. Yeah, I definitely slid that in there. I wasn't even thinking about that. Subliminal conscious mind deciding that it was a good idea to throw these two colors on for today's topic. All right, let's get on to the next one.
I got stood up, and I...
Hold on. Usman said, all you need now is a pink Cadillac. I got a gold Cadillac.
waited for 5 hours. I knew after about 1.5 hours I should probably go home. By 2.5 I was thinking, just 20 more minutes. By 3 hours I sent a message. By 4 hours I sent another. I went home after 5 hours. I killed time. I looked at the old messages to make sure I wasn't crazy. Nope. And he didn't even say sorry. He sent me a selfie this morning. I think I'm just a tool for him to feel good about himself at this point. I feel so dumb, empty, silly. I haven't dated in so many years, and this is how it happens? I'm not even that upset about him standing me up. But why did I wait 5 hours as if it was a mistake? Does that mean I have no self-worth? Am I desperate? Gullible? I guess. I'll just be sad. At least my crush on him went away as I drove home. Feels like a joke where the popular person asks you to the dance, but they were joking. I'm sad, y'all. If I even want to do this anymore. Everyone looks ugly/scary to me again. Back to forever alone. Oh well. Peace. Love you guys. Thanks for reading.
Well, you're welcome. Welcome to being a man. Unfortunately, you could have been trolled by another female. You could have been trolled by some kid who thought that was entertaining, because kids do that these days. They create adult platform profiles and they'll communicate with you, which is why I was saying earlier, Rev, about, he's talking to this chick on a dating site. She asked if her and her friend could stay the night by his house. And the fact is that you don't know if you're really talking to an adult. So there are some issues. Usman said these people need some self-evaluations, self-respect, and religion in their lives. Yes, sir. They got some of these folks are just lost. You notice the age range. Some of these, they coming up here with some stories to tell, and they're usually in their early 20s, not knowing what's going on because they did not get the positive guidance from their elders in their youth, when technically dating started socially in 15, 14, 16, something to that effect. Some parents try not to let their daughters date until after they're 16 or 17, but a lot of times they start with high school romances before they start doing out of school romances. They have like high school romances at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old. When the parents find out that the kid likes somebody, they gush all ridiculous in front of the child, embarrassing the child in front of the person that they like, which is embarrassing, to say the least. But they do that, and then the child is supposed to maintain stability in a relationship, but they're not teaching the child how. They're just allowing the kids, they're just high school sweethearts, the first crush, this, that, and the third. But as soon as you come to find out that he or she likes somebody, it's like, look, let me explain to you. I'm not going to talk to you about the birds and the bees. You can find that out in biology class. I want to talk to you about how to treat people and how to be treated by people, so that you don't end up in a bullshit ass situation where you regret the decisions that you made. Okay. And we're going to start that off from the first date. Just like when your kid come home getting beat up by the bully, the first day that he get a black eye is the first day you teach your kid how to fight. You should have been teaching your kid how to fight before we got that black eye. But since your ass is late, now it's the time to teach him how to fight. Same thing. You're not going to teach him responsibility in relationships until his first relationship. That first relationship, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, that's when you teach your kids responsibilities of relationships. That way, by the time that they're 20, they know what they're doing. These kids is becoming on the show 25, 28, not knowing what the hell going on. They lost. Okay. They're lost because of lack of proper guidance. So yeah, Usman, you're right. They need some self-realization. It's not about it. I I am going to say I agree with you about the self-respect, and they need to reevaluate their religious beliefs, their moral compass, their ethical foundations. But I also believe that you shouldn't down yourself because you had high hopes for this individual. You gave him the benefit of the doubt. You hung out for an extra long period of time, hoping that it was going to work out, and it didn't. And then the person sent you a screenshot of themselves in the morning. I ain't trying to get no screenshot from you. I sat there 5 hours waiting on your ass. So if you're not about to be the person that I need you to be, then I'm not talking to you no more. Men do this all the time when they go out on a date, or they try to go out on a date. They're waiting for the date to show up, and a date don't show up. Women get ghosted, but women don't get ghosted as often as men get ghosted. Women don't get stood up as often as men get stood up, but women do get stood up. Women do get ghosted. Women do get rejected. And women feel miserable when it happens to them the one time that it does happen to them. But ladies, it happens to men 100 or 1,000 times more than it happens to women. Women reject 499 men to say yes to one or two. Men are rejected 499 times to hear yes once or twice. A man will get rejected 1,000 times, go on 50 first dates at his expense, be stood up 4 times out of those 50 first dates where he paid for each one of the dates, including the ones that he got stood up on. A woman will get stood up for free, where the most she spent was the cost to get to the date, twice in a year. Okay, so it sucks on both sides of the table. But now, ladies, as y'all understand how bad it feels for the rejection, the ghosting, and the being stood up, why do y'all not change the narrative and not do that to other people? If you didn't like the way it happened to you, why are y'all still doing it to other people? That's a question y'all need to help me understand. Usman said women get ghosted, but men get thrown into the phantom zone. Yeah, we be hitting that outer limit shit. We be down there with the crypt keeper wondering when is somebody gonna come. Oh Lord. we be like Last Survivor. We be the only one here wondering, whenever somebody come and choose me, I could get off this island. But the fact is that we used to that though. We're used to that type of treatment. And that's what I was saying earlier. When I was saying with Bayside, that truthfully, men stop being thirsty when they get tired of being treated like this. We'll drive cross country. We'll drive cross town. Normally we drive maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour on a normal day-to-day getting to and from things. And that be our lifestyle with commuting, round trip. Then we come to find out that there's a female that we could hook up with. We willing to drive 5 hours in one direction for her, 5 hours to come back so that we could do something for 2 hours. And then we got to drive her 5 hours back out of respect and then drive 5 hours back to the house. That's 20-hour day plus the date. So that she could have a good time at our expense. Right? That's the thirst. But see, when you drive 5 hours out there, she stand your ass up. And that happened 2 or 3 times to you over a lifetime, bro. You ain't driving nowhere. It's like, well, you come to me, you meet me halfway, because you're not going to put yourself out there no more. You're going to realize that society is asking too much of you, and society is not reciprocating that. So you're not going to put as much out there for that relationship until that relationship is deemed valuable to you. So yeah, all men are thirsty until we tired of the bullshit. When we tired of being mistreated, the thirst is gone, and you'll never find that thirst again. You'll never a man will die in the desert before he get thirsty after being wrongfully mistreated. You seen how Django survived in the desert, right? You seen how Kelly survived in the desert, right? Hot gets thrown on him and everything. He got beat up and everything, was in ICU. But I tell you what, he crawled up out of that desert by his dang self, and he still was able to go back and do a second round. He was able to go get Mr. Isley a second time around. The girlfriend he cheated with didn't survive, but he survived. Y'all got to understand the willpower of men. Usman said, we are used to that type of treatment. We are also all right with spending time by ourselves. And we are also used to wasting our money on spending time with these other females. So, ladies, when we get to that point, ain't nobody spending no 5 hours waiting on nobody. At this point, it's like, well, look, you come to me and then we'll go. You drive here, I put you in my car and take you where we got to go. And while you on your way here, I'll be on the game playing Madden and whatnot. I might get dressed for the occasion, but I'll be sitting here playing this game. Let an hour and a half, 2 hours pass by. And then when I get off this game and realize that you ain't showed up yet, I'm going to bed. If you ain't communicated with me that you running late in order for me to wait up for you, I'm going to sleep. Shit. Once I start cooking at the house, you show up, I start cooking at the house because I'm tired, I'm hungry. We were supposed to go to eat and we ain't going to eat yet. Restaurant going to be closed by the time we get there. I start cooking at that. We'll eat here. Shoot. I'm not about to waste my time running out there trying to cater to people who don't respect me and don't value me and don't appreciate me. That's not what I'm about. And nobody on this platform should be about that life. We should put more time and more effort into the people that respect us and value us. So one of the first characteristics you're supposed to be finding out about the person is not what their favorite whatever is, because who gives a fuck about the other person's favorite shit? I don't know who you are yet. I need to find out how much you value me and how much I can benefit from your valuing me, because I can show you how much you value me. I mean, how much I value you. I can show you that. I can show you how important you are to me. The things that I do, the places I take you, the stuff that I accomplish for you on your behalf, the sacrifices I make, the schedules that I change so that I can be in your presence. That's how I'm showing you that I am going to value you. Right? But I need to be able to benefit from that value now, because I can want you to be here and you be the worst thing that ever happened to me. And likewise, you could want to be here and I could be the worst thing that ever happened to you. So you need to be trying to find out if I'm the right person for you, the same way I need to be able to find out if you're the right person for me. And if we can understand that it's not working the way we wanted it to work, then we need to not go any further. But ladies, y'all, women's liberation and the feminist movement, y'all need to be making the first move. Women are going to say, nah, that should still be the man's thing. And only misogynistic incels will say otherwise. I disagree. As long as y'all want to be considered independent, where self-sufficiency is more valuable than independence. While y'all claim that y'all want to be independent, y'all need to make the first move. Since y'all are standing in a masculine position, the person in the masculine position is supposed to go up and make the initiating approach. And then the person that is supposed to be reciprocating on that is supposed to be the one that's submissive to the masculine approach. Now, if you want to make the first approach and then you want to retract yourself to the submissive position, then you can engage the man and let the man know that you want to be there. And make sure that all your communication with him lets him know that you want to be here. And then he will determine if he wants you to be here. Otherwise, he said, Pimp Xander leaves no prisoners. You darn skippy, bruh. I ain't leaving no prisoners. We ain't taking no hostages around here. This is holding cells and handcuffs. Heads will roll, because at the end of the day, if you are not doing what you are supposed to do as a partner, then why are you expecting us to choose you? Like the woman that said, oh, she was dating a man for 4.5 years and they ain't never got married. Well, in 4.5 years, you ain't showed me that you were being a wife. We're not going to get married. You're going to say it's my fault because I didn't waste all my money on marrying you. But it's not my fault that I didn't have a reason to marry you. It's your fault that I didn't have a reason to marry you. Because if I would have asked you to marry me, you would have said yes. If I would have spent that $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on that ring, you would have put it on your finger. If I would have paid $100,000 for the wedding, you would have walked down the aisle. So the fact is that if in order for me to put up this offer, you got to give me a reason to. And if you have not given me a reason to, then I'm not going to do it. So really and truly, just because I didn't do it, that's not my fault. You have to ask yourself, why am I not doing it? Same thing, ladies. Y'all got these men that y'all be dating. That's not good for y'all. And then y'all wonder, why are y'all staying with that man? What are you benefiting from that man? But then if you got a good man and he's giving you everything that you're supposed to have, you still not satisfied with the relationship because he's complaining. You got to ask yourself, why is he complaining? If you're getting everything that you need in a relationship, why is your man complaining if you are getting everything that you want and need in the relationship? Your man should not be complaining. If you're satisfied in a relationship, he should be satisfied in a relationship. So the first time that he got a gripe, it could be a petty gripe. You are supposed to get your ass over there and make sure that he ain't got no more complaints. You need to go to the suggestion box. You need to go to the customer complaint line. You need to make sure that you fix all the problems with his membership, because if he is invested in you that much that you ain't got shit to say besides my man bitch too much, then bitch, you need to get over there and fix that problem. Because not now man is going to give everything he got to a woman that he don't want to have. And every man will try boy, I told you, see, I'm gonna have to get them people a call in the morning. They're gonna take $150 off my phone. My phone bill just rolled over. Matter of fact, I should be able to get them a call, had them take $150, $200 off my phone bill and shave me some money. It dropped the call. I can't call him right now because even the Philippines is closed. The Philippines branch is closed. But yeah, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We're in a situation where we don't know what to do because we have not invested enough in ourselves and we have not invested enough in our relationships to be able to have a strong connection with the other person where the other person is going to reciprocate. We need to make better choices in our relationships. We need to make better choices with our friendships. We need to make better choices with how we get treated by our family members and how we treat our family members. When we start making those better choices, we will come to find ourselves in an environment where not only will our friends and family advocate our wants, needs, and desires, but our partner will advocate our wants, needs, and desires. When you get a new girl in a relationship, your homies should be telling her, don't fuck around. You know what I mean? They should be able to let her know, he ain't gonna tolerate that. Don't go that route. You out there with the family members. Hey, my son, my brother, my uncle, he ain't gonna tolerate that. Don't fuck around with that. You need to be able to understand that. Because if not, you're gonna be in a situation where they're gonna allow you to sell yourself up the river. Because think about this, ladies. Y'all not gonna have y'all homegirls telling your new boyfriend how he need to tighten up and treat you better. What your homegirls is going to do, he's a catch. They're going to be pushing up on him trying to take your man. And if they can't push up on him and take your man, they're going to be telling you how he ain't shit. And you should leave him and be single like them. But the other guys, you need to fix your relationship with him. He's a good dude. Listen now. Telling that man, hey, go over there, go talk to her, man. Go fix that. That's what the men say. Go fix that. That's what the man mama say. Go fix that. That's what the man sister say. Go fix that. Auntie tell the man, go fix that. But not one woman would tell another woman, go fix that. I'm going to tell you right now, all you women on the channel right now, like and subscribe, go fix that. With the bass, go fix that. Because if it ain't the way you wanted it to be, the only way it will be is if you go fix that. Because otherwise, if you leave it the way it is, you leave it to its own devices and you wait for it to change without you putting any effort in it, you might as well just give up on it because it's not going to change. Because if it hasn't changed before you came to the show with the problem, it ain't going to change after I go off the air today. It's only going to change when you put effort into changing it. And you putting effort into changing it is not you fussing and arguing and cussing at your partner. You putting effort into changing it is changing the way you treat your partner, changing the way you respond to your partner, changing the way you respect and value and show validation to your partner, and then changing the way you ask your partner to address the reciprocation that you expect to receive for the efforts that you are putting in realistically. Usman said, Mr. President, what can you tell us, President? President says there's no shady or illegal activity. It was Xander in his gold Cadillac wearing his bright blazer, arguing on the phone with T-Mobile. Look, if I would have had Hillary Clinton's server, we would have been a government call. I would get a sat phone and I'm gonna call him from call him from a sat phone, be like, look, your service is not as good at this service over her. If sat phones wasn't illegalized, I'd probably have one. You know what's funny? It's illegal for you to utilize a satellite phone in the United States, but you can have one in a locked glove box or in the trunk of your car, because as long as they don't see it inside of your vehicle or they don't see you using it, they can't charge you for it, because the only way that they can get inside of your car is with a search warrant. So technically, you can have a satellite phone in case of an emergency, and then you can utilize that satellite phone for that emergency when you're in scenarios where you do not have cellular reception. Ain't nobody going to tell you nothing if you're calling from a sat phone in an emergency situation in a location that doesn't have cell service. But if you just rolling around with a sat phone in your car and they see that bitch on the passenger side of the car, you get got, because they wanted to give you a ticket because of your tenant windows, and they can't because you got a permit. So they're going to give you something for the sat phone. So if you keep the sat phone in a glove box in a trunk, because it's not an emergency situation, a sat phone is something that you got to get, like your suppressor. It's something that you got to get and screw on to the gun before you let it off. It's not something that is necessary for you to do the day-to-day operation. So get your sat phone, put you some minutes on that bad boy, re-up on the minutes on a regular basis, keep the membership on that bad boy current. And some of the sat phones have rollover prepaid minutes on them, and that's the ones that I recommend that you get, because you're not going to use a sat phone every day, but when you do use that sat phone, you'll technically have unlimited minutes, because you would have been buying minutes on the sat phone on a regular basis to keep the sat phone current. And then when you do need to make a long-term phone call, you can get on that sat phone and not care how many minutes it takes and how much it costs per minute to make that call, because wherever you at, whether it's somewhere that doesn't have cell reception in the United States or somewhere that doesn't have cell reception in another country, you got a sat phone. And most sat phones work in most countries. And the countries that it don't work in, there's a SIM card for the other country. You can just switch SIM cards and you still got a sat phone. So if the cruise ship, some bullshit happen, you can use the sat phone to call for help. Ships start sinking like the Titanic. You got a sat phone. Your cell phone might not make that phone call in the middle of the ocean, but a satellite phone might be able to make that phone call in the middle of the ocean. Just think about that now. You're in an airplane that's about to crash now. Your sat phone might not, if you got your sat phone in your carry-on, and TSA let you carry that bad boy on, then you might be able to use that sat phone if the situation goes south. But if it's in the luggage underneath the plane, you got to wait till y'all crash the plane so that you can go get your sat phone and make that call. But that brings you to that scenario where if you were stranded in the desert and you only had enough power to call 3 people, who would it be? First person would be the motherfucker that's supposed to come get my ass. Right? That's the first person I'm gonna call. Shit. I ain't calling the government. Yeah, I mean, I ain't calling the CIA, FBI. I'm not gonna call Night Watch. I'm not gonna gray mail nobody. First person I'm gonna call is my roadie road dog that's gonna come get my ass out this situation. Where are you at? Damn, that ticket's expensive. Well, I'm coming to get you. If I got to send the Coast Guard or somebody out there, if I got to send reinforcements, I'm coming to get you. I should be helipad dropping down with the friend. Either way, the rescue party should have came because my homies, one of my friends, my family members, my girlfriend, my wife, one of my kids, whatever, said, "Daddy's still alive. Go get him." And yes, my wife could have said that. Daddy's still alive. Go get him. I'm going to make sure that my Asian wife call me daddy all the time. Nah. That's wrong. That's wrong. They call him Opa over there. Which is the same thing. I'm gonna have to change it up. They might have to either call me master, sire, your majesty. we gonna have some strange nicknames. We gonna have some strange nicknames. It ain't gonna be Bay and Honey and Pookie. It's gonna be your majesty and sire. When my girl addressed me, everybody in the room gonna be uncomfortable. And we're not doing it out of servitude. We're doing it because we're gonna have a laugh out of how everybody else is uncomfortable about how she addresses me. With the type of supportive respect that Western women don't know nothing about. We're gonna have a blast out of this. Now, with that being said, y'all, that's all I got for y'all for tonight. I would carry it a lot further, but I do got another engagement that I got to take up in 20 minutes, and we got a 4-minute outro. So all of y'all that's here, I appreciate y'all for coming. Bayside, Usman, Satellite, I appreciate y'all for dropping in tonight. Rev, especially Rev be giving us some insight. Y'all seen them questions? Rev be sitting over here thinking, he be flipping through his Bible, and he be like, I'm about to ask him something that's gonna test his faith. And then as soon as he asks me a question, I come back with some stuff that lets him know the faith is strong with this one. The anointing hit this one. And I love it. I appreciate it. We don't always touch on religious topics on here, but we do touch on them. So make sure that y'all like and subscribe. Make sure that you list those reaction buttons. If in the event that you guys got comments that y'all want to throw into the show during the outro of the show, they will come up onto the screen as long as they're appropriate, especially you guys that are on Twitter, X, and those of you that are on Twitch as well. If y'all got something that y'all want to throw down, we'll throw it up on the screen as long as it's reasonably appropriate. And for the rest of y'all here on YouTube, I really appreciate y'all for coming to the show. Y'all comments will definitely be thrown up there. I appreciate and respect y'all's engagements. It is heavy. It is heavy. It leads me to do this. I'm like, man, I got to come back and see these folks. Well, I don't fail with coming back. And that's what I get. I'm glad that y'all don't fail to come back neither. Make sure that y'all stay tuned for tomorrow night's show, because tomorrow's Monday night, and we're going to be dealing with the political effects of financing, and we're going to be talking about other ways for us to make money in the current economy. We're going to be talking about different financial strategies on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we're going to have a new country of choice. So until next time, Usman, really appreciate you coming. Bayside, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking y'all again. Ladies, make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And fellas, we're about 68% followership because the women are starting to come on to the show because we're talking about some real deal Holyfield stuff. So they coming to see what we're doing. So keep it strong. Let your friends know. Let your homies know. You know, let your sons know. Tell the grandkids, hey, come take a look at this show, bro. Because y'all need to know, because when the women learn what to do, you know they're going to take it over. They're going to master it. They're going to do it better than the men could ever do it, because that's what women do. Women make things better when they're positive. Women will always show up and learn how to get it done, and they will always do it better than the man could ever do it, because men are distracted by sex. Women aren't distracted by sex. They could care less about it. They're negatively impacted by the sex. So, because they have to give birth after the fact, the men don't. So the fact is that they're more focused on their grind and less focused on getting laid. Men are more focused on getting laid and less focused on their grind. So fellas, make sure that y'all share the word. And thank you guys again for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never I'm not just living, I'm manifesting my vision, cutting through limitations with surgical precision. My expectations are my compass, my respect is my shield to mediocrity and chaos. I will never yield.